video. We are early live on air. It's very, very exciting. Do you see me now? I have not a sight nor sound. There we go. Video live at 5. Steve, you don't hear me on Alpha Geek Radio? It says connection established. I got little blinky lights, Steve. All right. Well, we're going to start out with some technical difficulty, but let's go ahead and let's make it slightly more interesting for the audience so they can see what I'm doing. I'm going to screen share this app. Oh, this is going to work. So, Steve, I can show you that. See the little blinky lights? And see it says Shoutcast, it says connection established. That's all I know how to do for Alpha Geek Radio, Steve. Once it does that, it's always been correctly working. So, I mean, I could quit it and restart it, but I just did quit it and restart it. Steve? Okay, now you're on the back channel, test message. Okay, I'm not getting a response from Steve, so I don't know if he can't hear me, I guess. I guess I'll go back to stop screen sharing. Okay, I am back. Okay, I don't know what to do about Alpha Geek Radio because I'm not getting any response on that, so I am just going to charge ahead. If Alpha Geek Radio isn't working, I don't know what to do about it at this stage. I'm very excited that all of you have joined us here early, an entire day early. It's very exciting. This doesn't happen very often, and we have managed to bring Europe into the fold here. We've got Klaus and Haley from Europe. Haley's from England, and Klaus is from Germany. We've got Alistair coming in from New Zealand on the other side, and also Kiwi Spoon, also from New Zealand. So we've got the planet surrounded here. Got Kevin and Cyberbiker. You're new here. Nice to see you. I think you're here on purpose because I saw you come in twice. Looks like you're doing it intentionally. Hello, if we haven't seen you before. And we've got Dorothy, and shockingly, we have Switcher Mark. It's very exciting, very exciting. Okay, good to hear, Steve, that we've got Alpha Geek Radio on. Alpha Geek Radio, lovely to be heard by you guys. I almost said be seen. Okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, you know what I should do? I'm going to play... Oh, no, where did it go? Hang on, I got to bring up a mail. This is just going to be for the live audience. Last week in the live show, we were talking to Haley and where she's from, and she is from... let's see. Oh, let's see. I got to look up your... Oh, got to find her email. I thought I downloaded it. Okay, where is your... Oh, shoot. I thought I would be able to find this more easily. There it is. There it is. Okay, I've got an audio file I'm going to play just for the NosillaCastaways that she sent me. She said she was Southern England, and all I could think of was that sounded like someone would have a cute little adorable Southern United States accent, and she assured me that she did not. And so to prove it to us, she has sent in a little recording for us. And now, what did I do with it? I just dragged it in here. Ah, there it is. Here we go. Let's listen to Haley really quick here. This is just a short recording she made just for us. Oh, she's saying no? Nah, she wants me to play it. Come on, she says hi to the NosillaCastaways. All right, here we go. Let's have a listen.
Hey, Alison and Steve and the Castaways. It's Hay from the UK. Okay, to start with, problems to be solved. The problem here is Alison wanted to know how southern British people speak. And I live in the south of England. I live in Bournemouth, right on the south coast of England. It's a beautiful place. And when I said that I lived in the southern part of the country, Alison did the southern American accent, which was really cute. And I was just doing a bit of a sample of what the British people, southern British people speak like. Yeah, it was my first time in the chat last night. I've been listening to the podcast for a long time. But because it gets recorded quite late at night, last night I was in the chat room at 1 a.m. And the only reason I could do that really was because I wasn't at work today. And I hope I have many more times to go in the chat room because there's some great people there, and had a good laugh. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. I just want to wish you all, Alison and Steve and the Castaways, I hope you all had an awesome Christmas, and I wish you a happy and healthy New Year. Take care. Bye.
Yay! I think that was fun, and I think it was fun to play it. Okay, thanks, Mark. I was a little worried Rose wouldn't be here. Rose would like Haley, I think. A great accent. That was fun. All right, let's get the show started. It is 5:05, time to start recording. Here we go. Ready? Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever-so-slight Macintosh bias. Today is Saturday, January 2nd, 2015, and this is show number 504. Hey, how's that for a surprise? The show's out a day early. Well, we're doing this because tomorrow Steve and I are heading off to CES for the first time. We're really excited about it. We need a fun show to meet people and see cool new tech since we've lost Macworld. I expect there should be some fun interviews to come out of this one. Steve's bringing all of his video gear. We'll have video interviews. We'll have it in audio. It's going to be awesome. And, one thing is we never worry about going away because our awesome friend Nancy takes care of Tesla, and our awesome second daughter Brandy, who happens to be a wicked TSA agent, guards our house. And she takes care of Buzzy so we can leave without worries. Anyway, we got a super fun show today, so let's dig in. I'm a member of a Google Plus community called Podcasting Technology Resources, which is super active with almost 2,000 members. It's a great place to talk about gear and tools and philosophies and stuff. It's a really, really good show, community. Many early podcasters ask me what microphone they should get, and that question gets asked really often in the Podcasting G Plus community as well. The answer is almost always the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. Once one person recommends it, a lot more people chime in, also recommending the same microphone. Now, there's a couple of remarkable things about the ATR 2100. First of all, it's listed for only, it's around $55 on Amazon right now. Second of all, it supports both XLR and USB and comes with the XLR and USB cables. If you have a fancy pants mixer, you can use the ATR 2100 with XLR, but if you just want to plug it right into your computer, you can do that via USB. Those two things make it attractive, and when you combine that with the masses in the podcasting community also endorsing it, I just had to try one out. I thought it would be fun to do a fly-off of several microphones. I use a Heil PR40, which is a very high-end mic that Steve bought me for, I think for Christmas one year. I think so he could inherit my Heil PR20. I also have a couple of travel mics that I like to use, the Samson Meteor mic and the Samson Go mic. If you've been listening to the show, you've heard reviews of them in the past. Finally, I thought for grins and giggles, I'd record with the internal mic on my 2014 MacBook Pro as well. I figured this would give a broad range of options from free to just under $400 for a new podcaster to make a decision on how much money they needed to spend in order to sound pretty good. I started at the low end with the internal microphone, working my way up in cost. I included the internal microphone not because I think it's a viable option, but rather for people to hear how awful it sounds versus spending just a few dollars to get a grown-up microphone. I recorded in GarageBand, and I didn't change any settings on the Mac between these recordings. I first said the name of the mic and the price, and then I recorded myself saying the tagline of my, my introduction to the podcast. Next, I clipped out just the intro sentences and played them all back to back to back so you could really compare them. And we forgot to turn the heater off, Steve. So I will take a short intermission right here because the heater's just gone off and it is going to sound really bad. I'm hoping Steve heard heard me say that. Steve, can you acknowledge that you are turning off the heater? Unfortunately, it's going to take a little while. Let's see. Heater, why do you need a heater? Well, it got down to 33 degrees the other day. Yeah, okay, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it takes a little while for this to turn off, so I'm going to vamp for a little bit, but I think what I'll do, since we have a break here where I can't do any recording, I'm going to come back and record a little bit more, but I wanted you guys to go ahead and hear this. I can go ahead and play this back to you guys, and you shouldn't hear the you'll be able to hear the microphones, but you shouldn't be able to hear the fan, I hope. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. You're about to hear 6 different microphones compared with the same sentences. This was done on a 2014 MacBook Pro, and no system settings were changed between the recordings. The entire recording was run through the levelator to ensure that the audio levels were the same, thereby not influencing our opinions of the audio quality of the compared microphones. This is the internal microphone on the 2014 MacBook Pro. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. This is the $30 Samsung Go mic. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. This is the $50 Samsung Meteor mic. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. This is the $60 Audio-Technica ATR 2100. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. This is the $155 Heil PR20. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. This is the $327 Heil PR40. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Now let's listen to them one after another. You're going to hear the internal mic, the Samsung Go mic, the Samsung Meteor mic, the ATR 2100, the Heil PR20, and the Heil PR40. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. I think the most interesting comparison here might be the $60 ATR 2100 against the $327 PR40. Let's hear those two back to back. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. While I can't tell the difference between the Heil PR40 and the ATR 2100, is it 5.5 times better? Because it's 5.5 times the cost. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on where the price to performance reaches your needs. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to go mute. Let me go back to the very beginning. And let me, what I'll do is I'll duplicate that track and I'll drop in, let's see, me mute that one. Let me re-record the very beginning. Teach me to do it a day early again. I just should set a rule of never doing the opening on the wrong day. Okay. Do you think anybody's remember my tagline? Oh, nice, Alistair. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Saturday, January 3rd, 2015, and this is show number 504. All right, so let's unmute that. And let me mute this so I can figure out where I stopped talking. A technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Saturday, January 2nd, 2015, and this is show number 504. Hey, right there. Okay. And then I can delete that one, and then I can move that one out, and I can move that one up. Oh, you can't see this. I forget. I kind of miss you guys being able to see what I'm doing, you know? Okay, so now it should sound smooth. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Saturday, January 3rd, 2015, and this is show number 504. Hey, how's that for a surprise? The show's out a day early. Well, we're doing this because tomorrow. Yeah, Haley, I did it. Wait, if you heard the beginning, why didn't you hear why it was a day early? Oh, no, you're wondering why the second. I have a text expander snippet that I use, and it captures the current day, and I have to edit it, and I screwed up again and didn't edit it right. So there's a shock. That never happens, right, guys? All right, let me join those tracks. Oh, because it's the 4th for you now. Can't see video on your new PC. Troubleshooting now. Oh, you got a new PC. Yay. Did you get a new monitor? That's what I really want you to get. Linda has had a CRT. I used to mock her a lot for because everything was dark. I'd send her pictures of my black cat, and she couldn't find my cat in the pictures, which is kind of funny, actually. You know your cat's really dark when. All right, let's see. And played them all back to back to back so you could really compare them. Okay. Here we go. If you're listening to this as part of the podcast, you might want to go over to the, actually, no, that only makes sense in the blog post. So I'm just going to say it this way. This is already a blog post out there. You might want to go over to the blog post for this section because I've included a table with images of each microphone and a link to them on Amazon. It might help you to categorize them in your head while you're listening. Anyway, let's listen to the recording and then I'll come back and we'll chat about it. All right. Dark cats, there's one at your feet. Yes, there is. Oh, Mark. Buzzy! You remember my cat's name. I love it. Recording, and then I'll come back and we'll chat about it. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. You're about to hear 6. Okay, so I did this as a standalone thing. I can cut that out. So I did it as a standalone part of the blog post because I thought it'd be fun to have it embedded in there so you can listen. If you want to show this to somebody or play, just play this part over, you can get straight to it there. The recording, and then I'll come back and we'll chat about it. You're about to hear 6 different microphones compared with the same sentence. That's funny. My mic sounds different between here and here. Listen. Recording, and then I'll come back and we'll chat about it. You're about to hear 6 different microphones, and there's a hum on the line. That's really weird because that should be the same mic. Let's hear what the end is. It's the cost. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on where the price to performance reaches your needs. Okay. All right. That's nice. Buzzy's barfing for us. My vet says she doesn't trust a cat that doesn't barf once or twice a week. See what you get when you stay up until 1 or 2 in the morning to hear the live NosillaCast? Well, who else does this on their show, right? All right, let me think how I should do this. When I was listening to those recording comparisons in GarageBand, the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 sounded pretty close to the PR40. But by now, you're hearing this as a sampled-down version as a 64 kilobit per second MP3, and the slight crunchiness in the ATR 2100 is more evident than when I was listening to it. I do think that for 1/5 of the cost, it is amazing compared to the Heil PR40. The Heil PR40 performed very well, and at least half of the cost of the PR40... Wait, I said the wrong model. I do think that for... Let's see... And by the way, I have underestimated the total cost of that microphone of the Heil PR40 because you have to buy a USB interface if you want to plug it straight into your Mac. So those can cost up to $100. The one I'm using did cost $100. So it's not even fair to say it's only $327. It was really more a net cost of $427. Anyway, I do think for the Heil PR20, perform very well, and at less than half the cost of the PR40, it's a great option. But for that, you do still have to shell out for that USB interface if you're not going to use a mixer. If you're getting started in podcasting, I can definitely recommend the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 for a mere $60. Keep an eye out, too. Over Christmas, it dropped as low as $45. All right. Join. Still rocking my 2006 purchase. What did you buy, Alistair? String port? All right. Now, there's a real nice table with pictures of everything. Oh, I need to bring this next thing out so you guys can see it. It's in my purse because I'm just going to carry it everywhere with me. Okay. This is what I'm going to talk about next. Whoa, that's bright. How about if I block the light? Nope, can't do it from that side. Nope, you can't see it at all. How about like this? It's too bright. Can't see it. It's a small white little button. All right. How nice. Didn't I think I sold it to you, Mark, though. Don't make them think I gave you a mic. I'm not that nice. My mother-in-law has a tough job trying to find gifts for Steve and me. She knows we love tech stuff, but what are the chances that she could find something cool that we don't already have? Well, this year, she found something that maybe I don't need, but it's still really cool. It's called and I'm going to pronounce this Hissy, it's Hisy, the Hissy Wireless Smartphone Camera Remote without app. Yes, that's the full name. Stepping back, what problem are we trying to solve? You're trying to take a selfie, but you have to be back far enough so that you can, you have to wait, that sentence doesn't even make sense. Give me a second. Yes, that's the full name. Stepping back, you're trying to take a selfie. Here we go. You're trying to take a selfie, but to get everybody into the picture, you have to be back far enough that you have to prop the camera up on something. So now, how do you actually take the photo? The Hissy remote is a small button, maybe like 1 inch in diameter and about 1/2 inch thick. It works over Bluetooth to activate the shutter on your iPhone or iPad. Hissy makes an equivalent product for Android, by the way, but for some reason it's called Halo, and for Android. Hissy makes stumbling. I shouldn't be drinking water. That's my problem. By the way, they make an equivalent product for Android. It's called Halo when it's for Android, when it's called Hissy for the iOS devices. Anyway, I thought this sounded kind of dumb and like this is never going to work. But, what are you going to do? I opened up the box, tapped the buttons once, turned on my iPhone, and looked in Bluetooth to see if anything new had showed up. Sure enough, there was the Hissy remote. I connected in Bluetooth, opened the camera app, and pushed the button, and my iPad took a photo. That's it. Wait, shoot, I screwed that up. I'm messing everything up. Turned on my iPhone and looked in Bluetooth. Okay, I'm going to start this whole section over. By the way, they make it. I said iPad and iPhone. I mixed them up. By the way, they do make a version of this for Android, and they call it Halo instead of Hissy. I thought this little device was going to be kind of dumb, like this is never going to work. I opened up the box, tapped the button once, turned on my phone, and looked in Bluetooth to see if anything new had showed up. And sure enough, there was the Hissy remote. I connected it in Bluetooth, opened the camera app, and pushed the button, and my phone took a photo. That's it. I didn't have to do any configuration at all, and that's why the name of the device has without app in it. There's no app at all. You just hook up over Bluetooth, push the button, take a photo. That's it. That's the entire configuration. So fast forward a week later when I had Pat Dangler over for a play date, and I tried to show it to her, but neither of our phones saw the device. Pat made me look at the instructions where it said to push a pin or something into the reset hole. A ring lit up red and then started blinking, indicating it was in pairing mode. I connected via Bluetooth, and now I was in business again with my other devices. I guess I just got lucky with it the first time on my iPad, and it seems reasonable to ask it to go into pairing mode, so if you get it and it doesn't pair immediately, just put a pin in the little hole and hold it till it turns red, and then it'll start blinking and it'll indicate it's in pairing mode. My Hissy is plain white, but I can see online that you can get it in hot pink, neon green, aqua, or black. It comes with 2 little pieces of plastic that have me baffled at first. One is a fold-up stand for your iPhone. It took several of us to figure out how to unfold it at first, and it's kind of rickety. I wouldn't recommend it. The other one had me baffled as well until my son Kyle figured it out. It's a clear plastic peg with ridges in it, and it has a tether. Turns out it just happens to fit in the headphone jack of your iPhone, and the tether slides nicely into the Hissy remote. I guess the idea is you can have your Hissy with you at all times for those emergency selfies. I'm not sure I'm going to use the tether, and I definitely won't use the stand, but I'm going to keep this in my purse with my other electronic gadgets to help me take better photos. If it sounds like the Hissy remote solves a problem you have, check it out for $16 on Amazon. Keep an eye on that price. It was $25 when I started writing the review and $16 when I finished. Okay, what happened while I was gone? I'm having a Hissy. Does the Hissy fit? Nice. I gave you a markup on the microphone, right? Oh, I missed Alistair answering the question of what kind of mic he got. AKG D85. I've never heard of that. All right. Oh, Haley, you got the tile for Christmas. Cool. Steve got that. Actually, Steve, I was thinking about that on my walk today. Can we put one in my purse? Because I can't always find my purse, but I think we need to pair it to your phone, not mine. Because if I can't find my purse, my phone's probably in my purse, in which case it's not going to help me find it. Can both of us pair to it? We should try that. Okay. No one has ever mixed up an iPhone and iPad on a podcast. Well, that's good. Yeah, definitely not. Okay, where are we? I think since Kirshen introduces herself, she don't need no introduction. What do you guys think? Should I introduce her or not? Yeah, she's on a bike ride right now, I think. It was $25 when I started writing the review and $16 when I finished. Ooh, she doesn't start for quite a bit there. $16 when I finished.
Hello and Happy New Year.
Too much gap. One more time. $16 when I finished.
Hello and Happy New Year to all the NosillaCastaways. Kirshen Sia from freerangecoder.com here with a review of an indispensable iOS app. Well, for me it's Drafts, now at version 4. First off, what problem does Drafts solve? Remember the good old days when you needed to scratch down a quick note and you had to root around for a scrap of paper and then hunt down that elusive pen or pencil? Well, the same situation haunts our modern electronic smart devices. We need to key in a short note and root around our device for a note-taking app. And then when the app launches, we have to remember how to create a blank note, and then finally, we can type it in. Here's where Drafts is different. Launch it and instantly a blank page appears with the keyboard up, ready to type. What a simple concept. And better than that, Drafts is integrated with my favorite shortcut expansion app, Text Expander Touch. Now, I can use all my snippets in Drafts. Once you've entered the text, Drafts has the ability to send all that text to many destinations. You have a WordPress site and need to send the text as a post, Drafts does that through the WordPress app. Put up a Twitter post, Drafts has you covered. Send to OmniFocus, things to do, yes. You can create multi-step actions as well. Drafts shows a count of the number of characters and words in the current draft. Great if you're trying to meet an article, word count, or watching that Twitter post limit. Right above the standard iOS keyboard is a tiny button bar with markdown shortcuts. Very handy. And Drafts is a universal app. What more could you ask for? Drafts is so invaluable that it lives permanently in my iPhone and iPad dock, in the same lower right-hand position, no less. Check out Drafts in the App Store. You can get more information on Drafts at agiletortoise.com, link in the show notes. Once again, this is Kirshen Sia from freerangecoder.com, and I'll see you in the bitstream.
Yay, Kirshen! All right, I still think there's too much of a gap at the beginning. You see that? She has really clean sound. $18 when I finished.
Hello and Happy New Year to...
That's not bad. All right. Oh, I meant to show you guys. I had got the mic out. This is the ATR 2100. It's got a nice little on-off switch here, and it's got let's see, what is that? No, that's a screw hole. In the end, I don't know if you can see it very well, but so there's XLR, micro USB, and this is a gain control knob and monitor cable, so you can also monitor yourself. And it comes with this actually just fine little stand. Pops out the legs. Pop this bad boy in, and you're in business. I mean, this is. I want to have this just for like if I were going to Macworld and we had we're doing any kind of interviews or anything I want to do on the road recording. In fact, I'm going to just throw it in my bag for CES because, I mean, how can I not carry this? Piece of cake. Look at that. Look how compact that thing is. That's all I got to carry. So I think this is really, really cool. Oh, Klaus going to bed. Good night, Klaus. Nice to see you again. And I found this bag. We still have a bunch of stuff of Tim's we haven't gotten rid of. He had these Onyx satellite bags, this little tiny thin bag, and it turns out that microphone just drops right in there. Throw in a USB cable, boom, microphone, weighs nothing. Yeah, we are going to CES for the first time. First time, should be crazy. All right, I should probably save. Oh, what the heck? Didn't mean to do that. How much did I just lose? I just closed GarageBand. Huh. I must have saved before I closed. All right. Begin.
And I'll see you in the bit stream.
Oh, Kirshen, it's so nice to hear your voice again. It's been way too long since we've had a review from you. I like this review because Kevin, Big and Virgin, in the chat room, is complaining that you've cost him money again. And I think Alistair said he's going to have to break down and get it too. So great review of drafts, and really, really appreciate you sending that in. Well, about a week and a half ago, I was about to plug my iPad in to charge it for the night when I noticed it was indicating that the battery was completely drained. This is indicated by a black screen with a battery symbol showing a red line for how full it is, not very, and a visual invitation to plug in your USB cable. I thought this was an odd sight as my iPad normally has about, 35-45% left when I plug it in at night. I figured no big deal, I'll just plug it in, it'll be all sorted in the morning. Unfortunately, I awoke to the same symbol on the screen. I tried the usual stuff, holding down the power button, the home button, both buttons, holding them long, holding them short, and nothing would kick me out of that mode or even turn the device off. I went out to the Googles and I read about how you can do a full firmware restore to your iDevice. They call it a DFU restore or device firmware update. It's a dance you do where you hold down the home button while plugging into your computer and launching iTunes with your other three hands. If you're lucky, iTunes will eventually recognize that you've put your device into the restore mode and ask permission to do so. I was lucky and did get that screen. When it was done, it offered to restore my latest backup, to which I delightfully agreed. I went for a run on the beach, and when I got back, my iPad was completely back to normal. Yay! I happened to open Downcast fairly soon, and I noticed that it was downloading 54 video podcasts. I started deleting with fervor before it filled up all of my space. Halfway through this, the iPad restarted and came up with a dead battery symbol. It was very sad. Time to make an appointment with the Genius Bar. I couldn't get one for several days, but since it was the holidays, I wasn't quite as dependent on my iPad as usual. As my son Kyle so lovingly pointed out, "Gee, Mom, that's got to be tough because you don't have any other Apple devices to use while you wait." So supportive. About an hour after I made the Genius Bar appointment, the iPad spontaneously rebooted and came back up normally and showed 100% battery. What does that mean? Well, for 2 days my iPad behaved completely normally, so that when I met with my new friend James over at Apple, it was perfectly obedient. James was awesome. For some reason, he had plenty of time to spend with me. We had great conversations about his photography while we watched the hardware test be performed. It was pretty cool. He was able to run the test from his iPad to mine. Well, you know the punchline, right? My iPad passed the hardware test with flying colors. He looked deeper into what crashes I'd had and saw a bunch of crashes not of Springboard or Backboard. I wish I could remember. It was some new board. It was a new one he said was introduced in iOS 8. Anyway, I hadn't heard of it before, but he still didn't see anything that concerned him. What he did notice, though, was that my AppleCare was running out on this very day, so he offered to replace the device just in case. I pointed out that I always buy AppleCare on my devices, and he then noted that I did have coverage for another year. His screens were indicating, though, that there was a gap of 20 days in there for some reason, and he didn't want to take any chances on me, not being covered. I need some water. Okay, cut this off short. You tell I was going to cough there. Well, I figured that's cool with me because I was pretty certain this was a hardware problem. He did say that if it were a software problem, it could have been reintroduced because I restored from a backup. He said it might be something to try to just restore as a new iPad using the DFU and then just set it up as a new iPad. I did say I did want the replacement, though, which he ordered and said would come in a couple of days. So you know what happened next, right? Again, the iPad, right after I got home from hanging out with James, died on me again. Only this time, it wouldn't even do the DFU restore. This was concerning because that meant I wouldn't be able to erase the device before swapping it out to Apple. Days went by of me checking on it before suddenly, again, the device was fine. I did a quick erase while it was up, and shortly afterwards, it died again. The end of the story is that on the 26th, I got a message from Apple that my new iPad was in, and they swapped it out in about 5 minutes for me. I continue to be a big fan of AppleCare because of incidents like this. To get the swap out would have cost $300, while AppleCare cost me $100. I don't end up using AppleCare too often, but just often enough that I'm convinced it has saved me money. Probably the most dramatic example was when Steve's 2-year-old 27-inch iMac had a failed power button. A little tiny button on the back, right? It was on the back. That means they had to entirely disassemble the iMac to get to that power button. I mean, they had to remove the screen, the drives, the RAM, the logic board, everything was out before they got to it. That repair would have cost $600, so we were pretty darn happy to have AppleCare. In any case, I'm all happy with my brand new iPad Air 1. I should mention I asked James, I said, hey, can I give you an extra $100 and you make an iPad Air 2? He laughed. I figured you got to try, right? Alrighty. Did I miss anything? Oh, you guys saw Buzzy? She wandering around? New logic board mere weeks before it ran out. I've had so many failures. Oh, she's under the leopard. Yeah, she is. There she is. Right? See how she's so hard to see? That's her. Guy tighten the screws until the brackets popped off the battery, slammed it closed in front of me, called customer line. Wait. Oh. Oh, yeah. I remember when you had that bad AppleCare visit, Tim. That was nuts. That was just crazy. All right. I am really excited about my next trick. This week, Steve's Uncle Bob wrote to me with some problems he was having controlling space on his iPhone, and we thought maybe his vast podcast library was a culprit. He was using the Apple Podcasts app. I suggested he try using Pocket Cast for iOS from Shift Jelly because it gives a lot more control to you on when podcasts download, how many you keep, on a podcast-by-podcast basis. By the way, if you're looking for a good podcast app on Android, Pocket Cast is also available in the Google Play Store now. Anyway, Uncle Bob installed Pocket Cast and really liked it. But then he wrote to me about a use case that it looked like he'd lost. Let me use his words to explain. One drawback is I can't use this app within the Mac environment. What I mean is this. I can't play podcasts through my computer while simultaneously using the computer for browsing and such. I used to be able to do that using the Podcast app when the phone is charging on the computer via the USB cable by toggling the phone icon on the first iTunes screen that pops up after connecting the phone. From there, I scroll down to Podcasts, but that is the prescribed Apple delivery mode, and it doesn't appear to recognize Pocket Cast via that route. I hope my annotated screenshot helps with the description. Don't know if there's a fix for that. One of my multitasking things I do, listen to classical or jazz while analyzing news. Well, like I said, luckily, Bob included a screenshot showing on my device in the left sidebar of the current screen, and he put a giant arrow pointing to podcasts under it. I honestly had no idea you could use that to access your iOS content and play it back on a Mac. I started to write back to him that yes, he'd lost that functionality, but then I had what I've chosen to think of as a brilliant idea that might just give him what he wanted. I tested my idea, and sure enough, it worked. The basis for this trick requires that you're running Yosemite, because Yosemite comes with a new version of QuickTime, QuickTime 10. Apple has now built into QuickTime the ability to record your iOS screen to a movie or audio recording. I would love to take credit for discovering this new QuickTime feature, but I can only take credit for being smart enough to watch Don McAllister's screencasts online and watching him tell us all about it. Anyway, I thought if QuickTime can display the screen of our iOS device, maybe I can use it to play content back for Uncle Bob. If you plug your iOS device into your Mac and launch QuickTime, request a new audio or video recording, you can set your iOS device to be the source for the audio and video. Now, you know I made a Clarify tutorial on all of this already, right? So don't worry about following step by step, because it's all happily up under tutorials on podfeet.com and a link in this week's show notes. The only tricky bit of this is that the audio playback volume is controlled from within QuickTime, which is kind of weird. You can't use the standard volume controls on your Mac or your iOS device to change the volume. Even if you forget this last bit of the trick, you'll figure it out soon enough, because QuickTime defaults to muted, so you won't hear a darn thing and you'll be forced to figure it out. I do have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself for figuring this one out. So, Alistair, maybe I didn't say it exactly right. He's playing content that's on his phone. That content is not in iTunes on his Mac. So he's got his phone plugged in, and he's got, Steve's writing me the weirdest messages. Leo just has a mohawk. I needed to know that right now. A little distracting. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so he plugs his phone into his Mac to charge, and then he opens up iTunes on the Mac, and if you go to the device, you can go down to the bottom, you can see podcasts, you can click it, and you can play your podcasts that are from your phone through your Mac's computer monitor or whatever, the speakers on your Mac. Now, why did I need to know Leo's shaving his head as a mohawk? That's nice. He wants me to put on my leopard suit. Okay, maybe we'll do that in a little while. I'll put it on while I'm playing Chit Chat. We'll play a little bit of Chit Chat tonight. All right. This week, Dick Nelson sent in an awesome story about the developers over at Blue Mango Learning who created Clarify. If you're new to the show, Clarify is a tool that lets you create beautiful documentations with screenshots and annotations and text and all kinds of stuff. But I want you to hear Dick's story because it's better than anyone I could have told. Here's what he sent me. Hi, Allison. I love your show and your enthusiasm, and I've been listening ever since some of your very first episodes. Of course I have purchased Clarify, and I love it. Well, thank you, Dick. I appreciate all that. He goes on to say, the other day I tried to open a Clarify document, and I got the error message, this version of Clarify cannot understand the data in this file. So I fired off an email to Clarify support. Then I noticed that the file had 0 bytes. Oops. So I sent another email to support saying this was my bad, and there was not really a problem. I retrieved that... Wait, sorry, he's got a typo in his text here. He said, I retrieved a good version. Okay, there we go. Hang on. I retrieved a good version of the Clarify document from my Time Machine backup, and all was good. Well, Trevor responded within a few minutes and said that he would fix Clarify so that it would give me a more useful error message. What great customer support. So I love this story from Dick because of how many times I've made a mistake like this, and Trevor had never mocked me either, but I just assumed he was this nice to me because I advertised for them. But evidently he treats every request with dignity and helpfulness, even when it's your bad. If you haven't already got a copy of Clarify, go check out the free trial over at clarify-it.com be sure to tell them Allison sent you over there when you do inevitably buy the software. Inevitably? Inevitably. Is that right? Sounds funny. And be sure to tell them Allison sent you over there when you do inevitably buy the software. Sounds funny. You know how sometimes you say something enough times it sounds funny? Steve, you're actually sharing pictures. I want to see the picture. Timothy says I would use Air Server. So there's a couple of things about that. First of all, Air Server's a little bit janky. I mean, if you've already got it, that would work. But this works hardwired, so you're not going to get any latency or anything like that. I think it's a slicker solution. And what if the thing you want to watch is a video podcast, and it doesn't have to be a podcast. It can be any content on there. You can play it and play the audio and the video. So I think that's a better solution. Air Server would certainly work, but that kind of stuff's always janky. Hardwire is always better. You haven't watched any of his content in a long time, huh, Alistair? I think Timothy's right there with you, as I recall. All right, so I need the dumb question. Kevin, cover your ears up. Tim, is it fun hearing the exact same things that you heard? Like Tim hasn't been on the show in a long time, hasn't been here in ages, so it must be funny to hear the exact same thing still going on, like me telling him to take his ears off. All right, where is my... oh, I think you're okay to put them back on. Kevin! Okay, good. Let's see. Ooh, I think Chit Chat's in the wrong place. Now that I think about it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, Chit Chat is in a completely weird place then. Hang on. I'm being... Go 2015 audio. That should be... Come on. There you go. And we don't want that there. Just a second. I'm doing a little house cleaning that I forgot to do. Switch over to the new year. Okay, I gotta go get the... Probably should have checked that recording. Well, what are you gonna do? It's probably fine. I think I checked it. 49 minutes. That looks like the right one. All right. CCATP. Let's see. 2015_01_03, right? Okay, here we go. Drag this up into Chit Chat. About right there. Should be remembering which podcast I need to delete on the phone later on. Why, Tim? It shouldn't affect that at all, because in fact it's better because you're actually playing it on the iPhone. So whatever you're listening to on the iPhone, you're listening to on the iPhone. So you don't have to sync it up. In fact, it's way more better, isn't it? Alistair, does it cut very much audio out of my recording when you use Overcast? I'm curious. Over there, when you do inevitably buy the software. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. And this week, I have coerced the internationally famous Pat Dengler, good friend of mine, into coming out of the show today to talk about the Apple Consultants Network, because she is an Apple consultant, and I've been fascinated by the work that she does, so I finally talked her into coming on the show. How are you doing today, Pat?
Hi, Allison.
It was a lot of arm twisting, but I have convinced her that this is going to be awesome.
This is years in the making.
All right, so let's start off with some definitions here. What is the Apple Consultants Network?
So it is a group of independent computer consultants who I always describe it as being blessed, in quotes, by Apple.
Ah, okay.
So we've joined their consultants network by paying a fee. Obviously, nothing is free.
Okay.
But in order to join, the requirements are you have to pass certification levels and maintain $1 million in insurance.
What?
It's pretty typical, actually.
Wow.
$1 million level is fairly normal. Then
So
we
it's
have
like
to
liability. So
Yeah.
if you go in and screw somebody's computer up and they sue you?
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It doesn't cover. Yeah, I mean, you can buy all levels of insurance, but
Right.
the basic level is just, if I hit delete when I've clicked on your iPhoto library, that kind of thing.
That makes you sad, so you call a lawyer because that'll bring the photos back.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you pay the fee. You have to take some certification tests. Are they
Right.
hard?
Well, hard is relative. If you study and you understand the material, then no, they're really easy.
But if
and
you
there's
just wing
lots-
it, not so much.
Yeah, well, it depends, again, on your level. If you're kind of a hacker and, you've been breaking your computer and fixing it for a long time, then, you may know most of what you need to answer, at least enough to pass. But there are great resources out there. There's certified Apple teaching facilities, and these, again, are independent companies who are all set up, and usually it's over a course of 2-3 days or a week, depending on which certification you're taking. Classroom stuff, 8 hours a day, and you sit there and they go through everything and you make sure you understand everything, and then you're ready to take the test.
This sounds a lot like the Windows certification stuff.
No doubt.
Very
I haven't
similar.
taken those, but I expect it would probably be the same.
Okay.
There are also books out there that are great reference if you're good at self-teaching. Peach Pit makes a line of, they call them Apple Essential Training books, and they have them for each iteration of the operating system. So there's, for example, the Yosemite book is actually about to come out on the 15th of January. And the authors are themselves ACN members and trainers. Actually, they're at a higher level than just the base ACN.
Okay. So I think there was also an iPad app at one time. I remember playing around with, maybe it was OS 10, but I remember an app that I could go in and it would give me little quizzes and stuff.
Yes, there's actually a great app called Revise. It's from a French company, I'm sure, which in French would mean study, basically. And there's all different levels of exam. And they put together a bunch of questions, and they're actually fairly accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good practice.
We've skipped over something, so we got into what it takes to become one, but we didn't say what one does. Now you're an ACN, you've got your blessing, you've got your little halo, you are an ACN. What does one do as an ACN?
So we
Stop it.
help individuals or businesses with,
Good.
now, I'd say with their Apple products, but it's really much more than that, because all of us ACNs are independent. We don't work for Apple. We don't get a paycheck from Apple. The only responsibility we have to Apple is to kind of follow their rules about what we can do, with the logo and that sort of thing.
Do you get a badge or anything from Apple? No.
No.
Shirt?
No. We have to buy our own. we can buy a shirt with the logo through Apple Consultants Network, but
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
There are some benefits. I mean, we can talk about that for a second. Once you join, you get discounts on hardware,
Oh.
software, and access to all the other ACNs, which that I think is probably the most valuable thing, because ACNs are located worldwide. And
so okay, that's enough. I had fun in this interview. I really enjoyed talking to her. And we're at an hour and 10, which is almost always. Hour and 11 is usually where we finish. So this is good. It's all good. All right. Or denglerconsulting.com. Thanks for coming, Pat.
thanks, Allison.
Well, for the record, after Pat and I stopped recording, I showed her my undeletable music on my iPhone, and after seeing it, she believed me. I know she sounded like she doubted me a little bit during the interview. But anyway, oddly, I can delete Slough's If Every Day Worth Christmas, which of course I don't want to delete. But that crazy song of Kyle's is stuck in there forever. Off the top of her head, she didn't see a quick solution. I will sleep well, though, knowing that it's really bugging her. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. I want to thank the live chat room for coming on the wrong night. I hope nobody goes looking for the show tomorrow night. And I want to thank especially Klaus and Haley for staying up really late to go ahead and listen to the show. But it was really, really fun. I want to give thanks to our sponsor for helping to pay the bills, the makers of Clarify over at clarify-it.com. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. You can email me at allison@podfeet.com. and follow me on Twitter @Podfeet. Check out that NosillaCast Google Plus community I keep talking about. I'm telling you, it's so much fun over there. Get a lot of help. I'm always referring people there when the questions get too hard. Remember, I like the dumb ones. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Klaus and Haley, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. All right, find the outro. Right about there. Let's hear how that sounds. Whoops, wrong track. NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right. Let's see. Let me go to the beginning, and I'll drop in. Watch yours, Kevin. Watch him. I'm okay. I got it. It looks about right. Okay. Let's see. There we go. It should be about right there. And select everything except for that, and dial that out a little ways. Right there. Number 504. Ooh, hey, how's that for a surprise? The show's out of date. Alrighty. Okay, let me join up some tracks. Whoops. And looks to try and see his ears. All right. I had fun. I'm glad you guys came. Oh, Linda was here, but she left? Oh, she said she couldn't hear me with her new computer, huh? She probably went from like XP to Windows 8 or something. No snow, Kevin? Thought everybody was getting hammered. All right, I think we are done. Let me listen to the very beginning. That looks funny. Let me listen to it real quick. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Saturday, January 3rd, 2015, and this is show number 504. Hey, how's that? All right, I think we are a wrap. It is 5:57. I'm going to export the song to disk, and then I'm going to run Dorothy's script. Wasn't Dorothy here for a while? Oh, yeah, she is there. She's just quiet. Be very, very quiet. Don't wake her up. All right, guys, thank you very much for coming. I am going to take us out in reverse order. Let's see. I'm going to say goodbye to the people on the app and listen to the audio-only stream. Thank you very much for coming. Talk to you again next week. All right, and then we will say goodbye to Alpha Geek Radio, alphageekradio.com. You can listen to it on... what is the name of that app? There's a really cool app that does that you can listen to Alpha Geek Radio on, but I can't remember the name of it right now. What was it? Anyway, well, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you being here. Steve, we're ready to shut down the server. Goodbye. That's a tricky bit of this, is a server has to be launched for the Alpha Geek Radio people. It has to be triggered that I'm going to take the server to stream, and then I have to give it back. If Steve doesn't give it back, it's a problem. All right. Well, I think that's it. We've got the other people off the line. It's time to say goodbye to the video. I hope that that YouTube picks the picture of me with the dog and the cat and Steve as our keyframe. We'll see. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming. See you next week. Bye.